USC Trojans. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, here with David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's get this thing rolling. And the Trojans will get this season underway as toe meets leather. Fielded in the end zone, it's Bryant. I know he thinks he can house every return, but sometimes you just have to take a knee as he stopped at the 14. This place is roaring, and it's going to be so hard to operate under these conditions. Leaves it with the back. He breaks the tackle. Pushed his way ahead. Really good run to get it out to the 20, a pickup of 5. All right, guys, let's think big picture for Oregon. They start the season in the top 10. Ideal position to make a run. But what do they need to avoid?
Well, I think you avoid the talks about me and where we're at, because that doesn't matter. This team's got a lot to prove. It's a very talented team, but they got to start the season off at. That first impression makes a big deal in all these voters, Jesse.
Yeah, I think a lot of these players are hungry to prove that top 10 ranking is legit. But talking to some of their guys too, David, they actually feel like they're not ranked high enough. They actually feel disrespected being where they are, which is pretty amazing considering this is already a really great jumping point. I can't wait to see how they play today.
Man, how loud is it in this building? This is crazy. These fans are going absolutely nuts. And I used to love when the fans got involved when I'm on defense because it messes with the snap count, it messes with the communication, and it can really rattle an offense.
More to the air. Can't make the connection on third down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's fourth down. And the Ducks decide to punt it away. They'll boot it into the night sky for the first time. No fair catches here, looking for room. And the punt team gets down there and gets the return man on the ground. They'll start this drive going to the air. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball.
Not many receivers like to get hit. They just don't, okay? They're prima donnas. That's what they are. That's who they are. Nice job by the defender. You could tell he was catching the football. He was going to put a hit on him to make sure he had to think about something later, and you could see the ball pop out and fall to the ground.
Pulls it in. It's Lemon. Nice gain on that play, but leaves it a little short of the first down.
And frankly, if that's a completion, it's not going to make the end-of-season highlight reel. But in this game, it could lead to a highlight reel type play. The offensive coordinator may be setting something big up for later in the game.
The Trojans are at the line looking to convert on third and short. Quarterback will keep it. They convert on third down as he gets it to the 46-yard line. And the Trojans getting set on 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Looking for space. It's Sanders.
You definitely want to commit to the run game. You want to establish the run game. You want the defense to honor it. But if it doesn't work a little later down the road, you might think about airing that puppy out.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Quarterback may change this route. Back to throw, it's Mayava. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
Man, it's easy to play defense when you can do this. When you can get to the quarterback quick and make him make a decision quick. It makes it easier for the secondary, for the linebackers, for everybody on the field.
After the second down misfire, looking at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, wants to pass. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
Yeah, and on money down defensively, you got to find ways to affect the quarterback. Nice job by the defense, getting the pressure, getting to him, getting a hit on him, and forcing the incompletion, and now forcing the 4th down.
Punt is in the air. On the move, looking for a little sliver of hope. They'll get him corralled and down at about the 19-yard line. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. They went 3 and out on their first possession, now to see if they can be more productive this time around. Makes the grab. It's Benson. Sweet spin. And they'll spot it at the 38, and that'll be plenty for the first down. That was a nice pickup, running the drag route and finding that quiet, soft spot in the zone.
Yeah, drag routes not only work against man coverage, they work against zone too. If you can find the soft spot and the quarterback gets it to him early, he can turn upfield, and you saw that right there.
At the 45, on his way. Gashes him in the middle. And he'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Ducks! You know they love their track at Oregon. And when the gun goes off and he hits open field, he is headed to the tape, and he was burning by the time he hit the end zone.
And they've had guys year after year with serious track speed. They'll get you the small runs, lull you to sleep, and then boom, they make those big plays because they got big-time playmakers with speed at running back.
And he's going to bring it out. And a really nice job by the kick team to get down there and make sure they limit that return. And guys, USC has the ball back and sending the offense onto the field. Finding themselves down 7-0, they'd love to get a drive going here. Oh, it's a fumble. How in the world did the offense retain possession?
It's so hard to force fumbles, and when you do, you so badly want to get them. You're crawling, you're doing whatever you can to get there as a defender, but the offense fortunate enough to cover it back up.
So now it's 2nd and long. To throw, it's Ncaa. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense.
And that's one the offense would love to have back. That's a play they practice over and over and over. They feel like they can run that play in their sleep, not able to connect there.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. He's looking to throw. Sends it downfield. Picked off. A rare misread and mistake from this quarterback. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
And this ball looks like it just got away from the quarterback. I think he made the right decision. He was going to the receiver that seemed open, but just not very accurate on the throw, and that leads to the interception.
And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. Already a solid start to this one. Now back to work with this 7-0 lead. Gets it inside the 30, down to the 27, a pickup of 6. He's up to 73 yards on the ground in this first quarter. That is a terrific start. The Ducks in a good spot here with 2nd and short. They think they can impose their will here with the run to the right. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. That time the defense called it at the perfect time. The linebacker able to make the stop in the short game.
And from the offense's perspective, that's probably making a little something out of nothing. He's moving out of the pocket. He's
on the third play of the drive, third down, it's the scrambling ability of this quarterback that goes and picks up the first down. He was so calm back there. He never got flustered. Nobody open. No.
And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Oregon.
I know we're only in game one, but in this half, you've got to be excited about what you've seen from this offense. Really nice rhythm. Quarterback's got great command on the field with respect to what they're trying to do, and they've got some weapons. I can't wait to see what this offense does this year.
And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
All right, guys, got a final score on one of the more intriguing games this week. Rutgers took care of business today. I think their coach had their attention all week, and the end result was a focused group of Scarlet Knights that fired on all cylinders. Regardless the outcome today, guys, these are still two quality programs. Proof the sport is as healthy as ever.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. They'll start this drive from the 18-yard line. From the gun, running back gets the give. An explosive play in the running game as he's got the first down.
Man, I really love the way this guy looks when he's toting the rock. You think about all the high school kids out there who dream about one day donning a USC jersey and being the starting running back for the Trojans. There's so much competition, not just in the state of California, but nationally, to come to this school and be the guy, to be RB1. He's on the field for a reason. This guy is unique. He's got speed and vision. What a weapon.
That's the end of the period, and Oregon has the lead. And that was an impressive and dominant first quarter. Let's take a look at the stats before we move on. This could be a pivotal moment in this game as we open the second period and they try to find a way to answer. So second down here as we're back at it after the break. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. The Trojans can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. Red pass, it's complete. Past the 45. He'll go out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Big pickup there, and this offense is feeling it. You can work your way down the field with these wide receiver screens, but also look for the opportunity to turn them into chunk plays later.
No doubt, you throw it quickly. You get it to him now. DB comes up, has to make a tackle. Now you fake it maybe a little bit later on. So these plays, they're not huge plays all the time, but they can set up big plays down the road for your offense.
Knocked down at the 25-yard line. Picked up 10 there and gets a first down.
Wow. 4 plays on this drive by the offense. They already got 3 first downs. We knew they had a lot of playmakers coming into this game, and they're showing that right now. This defense is going to have to make a play at some point here and stop the bleeding.
Brought down after picking up 3 down to the 22.
And that's a really nice play. It's impressive. When it's first down and the defense thinks you might be running the football, you still can line up. You can get some movement at the point of attack and find a little crease for your running back.
Using his legs, it's Jordan. He's wrestled to the ground right at the 15-yard line, and a big red zone opportunity here.
It's hard to stop Greg Myers. It really is. That's why you run the football consistently. You got a big offensive line, a big physical unit. You run the football like this, man, it will take a toll later. But you got to tackle this guy over and over again who has this ability to make people miss and make big plays.
This offense has been sluggish, to say the least, but finally they're on the move on 1st and 10. They'll give it to him again. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
Great job by that defender. I mean, he timed that snap count perfectly, got into the backfield, and created the negative play.
His drive was clicking along, but now it's 2nd and 14. They go to the ground. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. And the Trojans racing to the line in a hurry up. On 3rd and long, doesn't need to take the check down. Makes the grab on the left. And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first. And it looks as if they're going to try a field goal. Just drives it between the uprights. Had to settle for the field goal.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
Looks like he's going to try to return it. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. From the gun, running back on the move. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
It's hard to run on a defense that comes off the ball like that and runs to the football like that. Good luck. No holes anywhere.
Got stuffed on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. Caught in the backfield. It's Whittington. Didn't have much room to run and not a whole lot of help. Short gain there and still plenty of ground to cover for the 1st down. Well, he comes up with the reception, but not a lot of room to run after that.
Yeah, and I like the QB doing this. I mean, I'm going to find ways to get him the football and see if he can make a miss. And I'm going to bet most of the time that my guy is a little bit more athletic than that defensive guy. Defense won this battle, but I like trying to get this guy the ball in space.
And it's on 3rd downs like this. If you want to attack the middle of the field, you got to look for the tight end. Really nice route. Great job looking that football in. You can tell this quarterback.
Oh, it's picked off. A rare mistake from this guy. Got some room to run. And a big return after the INT sets up the offense for this possession. They take over late in the half, enough time to put together a drive. Give to the back. Knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard.
And this offense on 1st down, man, they go backwards. And they've built a deficit, and they've been sluggish. And they just need something to get going, to get started, because they've kind of looked out of sorts and out of rhythm this whole game.
It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. He might want another play. Toss sweep to the right. Defense just going after him. They stop him for a loss of 6.
I like the idea of going toss to the field, but you got to have better blocking by your wide receivers out there on the perimeter. They didn't get it done, and as a result, that's a negative play.
And guys, they really need to take advantage of this field position on 3rd and long. Wide receiver going in motion. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. Makes the catch. He is denied. Cannot get to the 1st down marker, and it's 4th down coming. Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. It is good. That'll make it a 1-possession game. The lead is 8.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
On the run from inside his own 5. Able to find enough room to get it out across the 25. He's brought down at the 26. They'll get a chance to Makes the grab. It's Moore.
And that is exactly where the football was supposed to go. Offensive coordinators call drag routes, anticipating man coverage. Even though the ball's only traveling 2, 3, 4 yards down the field, if the receiver is able to get a rub and create some separation and the quarterback gets in stride, that little completion, that can turn into a 20, 30-yard gain.
And that's how you respond as a defense, man. You give up 9 yards on first down. Second down, man, they bring some pressure. They are in the backfield fast, and they make the tackle for a loss and completely flip the script. Almost a guaranteed first down on second down, and now maybe even put them in a passing situation on third down.
The Ducks will try to pin them back with the punt. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. He'll try to field the punt and see if he can give his offense better field position. Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. They'll start this drive with a pass. That's caught. It's Jordan. He'll be stopped and forced out of bounds. Mark it at the 47-yard line, and this offense is going to work. They built this offense around finding mismatches and just get the ball in the back and let him do his thing.
Yeah, it didn't have to be long down the field. Like it threw it right near the line of scrimmage, but you know I got a guy, when he gets in space, he can make big plays happen. Nice decision by the QB.
They get to him as he throws. The pass falls incomplete, and there are 8 seconds left.
And that was another ball thrown in harm's way. And this young man, he already has 1 interception. That was almost a second. Just playing a little bit loose with the football. Let's make sure we get that dialed in. We can't make those mistakes. Hard to win games when you make big mistakes.
Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. Might be changing the route. Dropping back, it's Mayava. Rushes on him. It is incomplete, and now there are 4 seconds remaining.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
Give to the running back. They stop him short of the sticks, and it'll be 4th down. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. Just enough time to get off one final play of the half. On 4th down, they'll try to throw it. Looking to take a shot. Intercepted. A first half turnover can swing momentum. And he'll be brought down, and that's how we'll end the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. Just about set to get this second half underway. And he's coming out of the end zone. They drag him down at the 22. He gambled for the big return out of the end zone and came up a little short. This Trojan offense is ready to go back to work. Maybe adjustments or attitude adjustments, but they've got to find a way to run the ball at least some here in the second half.
I do think you said something that's important. I think running the football is an attitude. Like, it starts with the offensive lineman and being physical, having a nasty attitude. Running back, same thing. I think they need more of that in the second half.
You know, and I think even if you're this defense, you have an opportunity to make a statement here. Yeah, I know you guys went in at halftime and you riled yourselves up and you told yourself that you think you can run the ball on us. On this very first drive, we're going to prove to you, just like in the first 30 minutes, you cannot.
May Makes the catch. It's Jordan. Building momentum, picking up a chunk of yardage, moving the chains out to the 34.
It's a nice throw by the QB there. When you're throwing to running backs, you got to make it easy. So you want to put it right on their body, make the catch simple, and let them go to work like they did just there, getting that first.
They've got a 1st and 10 at the 34. Back to throw. It's Mayaba. Got his man quickly. And the defense had that one well covered. Just a short gain there.
And quarterback dropping back, understanding I'm getting zone coverage. All I got to do is be a little bit patient, manipulate that defense a little bit. My wide receiver runs that drag, and I get the first down.
And here comes the offense on 2nd down. Gonna look downfield again. The short hands, it's Lane. And they'll stop him just short of the 1st down, just inches away from moving the sticks. The Trojans come to the line trying to find a way to convert on 3rd and very short. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the 1st down. And the Trojans come to the line with a fresh set of downs. From the gun, leaves it on the inside with the back. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe, 2nd and 7. Stuck with a running game on 1st down. Now here they come again. Looking to throw, it's Mayaba. Quickly complete. He's knocked out of bounds as he gets it across midfield and down to the 46.
Yeah, great catch, but great read. I love the quarterback understanding. You're going to see the blitz. I'm going to get the ball to my running back quickly, let him get the 1st down. Nice job by the quarterback seeing that really fast.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Caught behind the line. It's Wormley. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
Nice job, defense. You always hear people talk about tackling the catch. You saw it right there. There was nowhere for that receiver to go once he had possession. As a result, no gain.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. Quarterback making checks. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. Got it in the middle, it's Lemon. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. The Trojans want to pick up the tempo. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down.
This offense hasn't been able to generate a lot of points in this one. Here in the 3rd quarter, you're seeing the defense and how much pride they take on being physical. It's not just stopping the run. Guys in the back end flying to the football in the air, getting hits on guys, that time on the receiver, knocking it loose.
Tried to give it enough body English, but he missed it. Boy, they could have used that field goal to draw a little closer, but still an 8-point game. They'll open this drive from their own 42-yard line. Leaves it with the running back. We'll give him a couple on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
The big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
Moore to the air. With the catch, it's Whittington. He gets it up to midfield, forced out of bounds at the 50.
Listen, running backs are not just running backs anymore. You're going to be a wide receiver in today's football. And a great job sneaking out of the backfield, getting the football, letting them get some positive yards.
He's going to look for a man on 3rd and short. Touchdown Ducks! The offense puts up 6 with that trip to the end zone.
When these offenses get in a rhythm, they're hard to stop. Already up early, got a short field, take advantage of it too, get another touchdown. This offense is doing whatever they want to do and having a lot of success.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, they move on top by 15. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And they capped off the drive with a big play through the air, scoring from 50 yards out. And he takes this from inside the 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. First snap of this drive will come from their own 17. Going right to work up top. He's going to let one fly down the middle. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on.
Looked like the offense had a chance for a big play there, but the running back just could not reel that ball in.
Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Looking to pass. It's Ncaa. Just a short pass to the tight end. That'll be a gain of about 7. Leaves him with 3rd and 3. And the Trojans want to move quickly. The offense changing the play. He'll throw on 3rd down. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. They'll snap this one from the 42. It's 1st and 10.
Well, I think on that play you saw why this guy's such a big weapon in this offense. At receiver, he does such a nice job with his routes. He's patient, and he's consistent, and he's got good hands. You don't see him put a lot of balls on the ground. Nice job there picking up the 1st down.
And they'll drag him down. That's likely the last play of the 3rd quarter. Time has expired here in the quarter, and Oregon has the lead. They built a comfortable lead after 3 quarters of play. Let's take a look at how we got here. One more period to go, and we'll see just how much fight they've got left in them. And a chance to mull things over, and let's see how they start the final period here on 2nd down. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. Turning it on! He stopped at the 45 after picking up 10 yards and the 1st down.
And the offense with a nice run, breaks off a little bit of run, gets a 1st down. Oh, and here they go again. 1st down, you've seen this. They like to go fast.
And he does a really nice job finding open space and making a good gain before the stop is made.
And you're seeing the offense now mix up the tempos. After a successful run, they're now going hurry up.
Finds his man. It's Jordan. The Trojans line up, trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. Looking for a man. It's Ncaa. Fires to the big fella. They are on the move as they pick up the 1st down. They'll spot it at the 28. And the Trojans come to the line with a new set of downs. There's the pressure. Catch in the middle. It's Lions. Tackled almost immediately. They're well short of the 1st down.
And this This offense just hasn't found a way to kind of open it up. Like, they haven't found those explosive plays. It feels like the defense is kind of strangling them and staying really close to the line of scrimmage because of their lack of their big play ability over the top. This offense has to dial something up.
Off the RPO, complete. And he cruises his way to the house. Touchdown, USC. Timing and better execution, that is just what a quarterback and wide receiver need.
And it's timing, it's route running, right? You got to be precise. You got to know exactly what yard you're running to. The quarterback receiver on the same page. That's why you get the touchdown.
And after the extra point, it's a one-possession game, down 21-13. They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score. The returner will field it and try to do some business. He only needs a sliver of daylight. Got a little room. He's going to get loose. They won't get him. It's a touchdown.
And this kind of performance has to give this team so much confidence. Week 1, you go on the road into a hostile environment, and you put the beat down like this. This coaching staff is going to be happy on the ride home.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point splits the uprights. It's 28-13. So that one will put his name in the record books. You can't have a longer return in college football. 100 yards for 6. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. He's going to take a chance from midway in his end zone. Nothing wrong with the touchback, and they wish they had one right now, but he stopped at the 9-yard line. And guys, USC has the ball back and sending the offense onto the field. They took advantage of outstanding field position the last time they had it, and now they'll have a little more. And he throws another interception, his third of the night. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
The number one objective for a defense is to make the offense one-dimensional. Well, when they're trailing by this much late in the game, they're one-dimensional. They have to pass the football. We can bring more speed on the field. You see it. We know you're throwing the football. Nice break on the football. Nice interception. This one's almost over.
Quarterback moving. And not much going on downfield. They just get rid of it and live to play another down.
Good decision by the QB. You're outside the pocket. You're trying to find an open target. No one's open. Throw it away and live to play another day.
Well, jet sweep pass. They almost got a first down there. Stopped the yard short. It'll be third down.
Man, the defense, you hold your breath. When this receiver has the football out in space, you have got to make sure you're playing with outstanding pursuit. Nice job there, but as this game goes on, they've got to keep an eye on this guy and make sure they know where he is at all times.
He'll take it himself. Stop at the 3, but it'll be enough to give them a first and goal.
I think one of the biggest reasons why the scoreboard looks the way it does is this offense has been dominant on third down. They have found a way to stay on the field. They do it again here late, running the ball on third.
Using his feet. Touchdown, Oregon! And the stomping has commenced.
And it's been more of the same in the second half for this offense, doing whatever they wanted. What a start to the season, man. This is exactly what you draw up. Everything they drew up in the offseason has worked in game 1, and that's why they are dominating this football game.
The kick is up and good and put one more on the lead. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Here he comes from midway in the end zone. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. time through a pick on the first play.
No, it certainly can't. I think one good way, David, to help your quarterback turn the page is just find him an easy completion here and let him get back into a rhythm.
Yeah, or find him an easy handoff. Just hand the football off, maybe get the ground game going, maybe jumpstart this offense a little bit.
Back to throw, it's Ncaa. He hurls one deep down the left side. And the incomplete pass taking a shot on second down, and they'll be left with a third down.
And it's just been that kind of day for this quarterback and this offense, guys. They have never been able to get into a rhythm throwing the football. Timing's been off. Accuracy hasn't been great.
He puts a lot of air under it down the sideline. For the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. He goes down after the short return, but what a play to get the football back. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. This offense has really been clicking in the game so far, Jesse.
No doubt. Everything their play caller is dialing up, these guys offensively have been able to go out and execute there.
Yeah, and it's just maintaining the lead. Keep doing what you've been doing. You got a big lead. Let's just keep piling it on until they find an answer.
Now on second down. Gets the back moving. This quarterback part of their running game. Oh, he's got some space. And they explode on that one, and they've got it down to the 22. He now has 106 yards on the ground, and that will put him over 100, and what a way to start the season. And the Ducks come to the line after ripping off that huge gain on the ground, trying to keep it going. Wants to go up top on first down. Now adjusting. And this one's not working. He'll just throw it away.
And how about this offense? They're not worried about the clock. They're not worried about the score. They're not worried about early and down. Still trying to execute their offense. Still trying to make big plays. And they've had a great day so far.
They want that clock to run. He's inside the 10. He's all the way down to the 3. Showed it all on that run.
It's got to be tough right now on defense. You need to find a way to get a stop, and you haven't been able to do that in the fourth quarter. You've been giving up points. You just gave up a touchdown in the last drive. You need a turnover. You need to do something right now to stop this momentum.
The Ducks have it in scoring position on first and goal. He pushes it forward all the way to the 2-yard line.
And I'm a fan of this, man. Run the football, eat the clock. We got the lead. This offense has put together a nice day, man. Like just balance, rhythm, timing, play calling, everything has worked. That's why they built this lead. They've had a great day today.
On the move. Came through like a shot and knocked him down for a loss of 5. It's third and goal and a long way from the end zone. Moore will throw. Buying some time. He was thinking touchdown on the scramble, but they're able to stop him short of the end zone.
And that's a pretty good job by this defense. Like, they understand it's third down. They understand the situation. They drop back. And I love the defensive back with vision on the quarterback. He sees it, right? He takes off the scramble. He's like, no. You're not getting this first down. Nice job coming up and making...
And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Ducks!
And you knew this one was over already, but how about an exclamation point to go with it? Another score for this offense. They've had themselves a great day, and the stats just continue to pile up.
And they did tack on that extra point without any adventure.
USC 13.
Kickoff unit has been busy as they have built a big lead, and they're trying to hold on to it. And he's going to try to return this one. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. Good news, I guess. A lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15.
And that's why he is an All-American caliber player. He is just so physical and dominant against the run. He's able to shed blockers, use his athleticism, use his speed, get to the ball carrier and bring him down. Simply one of the best box defenders you're going to find in the entire country.
This is what an elite team does. They know they're better. They go out, they take the figurative sledgehammer and hit them right between the eyes.
And they just look good in every phase of the game. If I'm on the coaching staff, I don't know what you could ask for your guys to do better. I think the challenge now for this team is going out next week and trying to play with the same type of intensity and the same level of execution.
Well, Jesse, it's easy to look good on the field when you look that good in your unit. Like when you look that good coming off the bus. Those dudes are good. This is a great team, and they proved it. Just domination from start to finish.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.